Welcome to episode 3 of Operation Tuesday. Today we are crashing Odin's place in the end, and if you can find this place and manage to
nice
find a
place.
way to get to it, you can join us in the dining room for cake.
We've already eaten most of it, though. There's only like 2 pieces left. Bites. I a little bit miss singing for the intro. Just a little bit. Won't happen this time, but I guess I should go ahead and introduce myself. If you don't already know, my name is Rebel Sun X. I'm joined by Link numbers, not 94556. Link has a feather. and Sentinel 3. Sentinel 3. That's fine. Yeah.
This time it's Sentinel 3. I don't
Yeah.
remember who it was last time.
I think it
Or
was
who will be next
90210. was Link actually is the owner of Harvest Block. Got it handed off to him by Odin and Bubble. Currently head spazzing. So I guess the subject this time is the EULA. I guess we're calling it EULA, and how that affects Harvest Block and exactly what's going on with us specifically and the EULA. And I guess we can talk about other servers too. I'm not on any other servers, so I don't mind talking about them.
So if you don't mind, I'll start us off by basically saying what happened in a global sense.
Yeah. Tell us what the hell EULA is. I mean, we've probably heard this already, but it's okay. We'll review.
Okay, so the EULA is the end user license agreement that all of you clicked on OK so that you could play Minecraft.
That thing that we all said we read and we didn't read.
Yet nobody read it.
Yeah, nobody read that fucking thing. Turns out there was stuff in it that you actually needed to know.
So here's what Mojang is saying. The EULA always said you are not allowed to charge money for playing our game. Only we can do that. Which, according to them, means technically any kind of getting money to play on a server was against the EULA.
And this is just recently become an issue.
Yes,
because to my knowledge, people have done this since the beginning of time.
Yes, because when Mojang was a small company, they lacked the ability to set up a server base for multiplayer. So they enabled their community to set up servers, and allowed and did not enforce this part of the EULA, so that, or rather, they looked the other way, so that servers could support themselves and allow for donations and whatnot. Recently, however, well, not so recently, about 6 months ago, they updated their EULA.
And cow ass.
To put in a specifically what they said was allowed for monetization.
So what is allowed for monetization? And thank you for... Well, we could have left the cow, it would have been fine.
The way they say it is basically you are not allowed to monetize the game experience. You are only allowed to monetize access to your server as a paid for service, which means either basically if you're charging people to give them stuff, the only thing you can charge them for is access to your server. If you want to set up your server as a donation-based server and give people rewards for donating, the only rewards you can give them for donating are non-gameplay based. You can't have 2 people on your server having different gameplay experience. You can't pay to play or pay to win, as they call it.
Yeah, that's kind of. And were they more specific on what you can do? Because you can't pay to have the gameplay experience. Sounds kind of It's a little weaselly. I mean, that's what rules like this do. They create weasels that people have probably already found ways around this
So
in the
the
language.
guidance so the guidance that they gave was, for example, if you want to allow people to donate and get nicknames, or donate and get, you know, and then get decorative elements like flowers in return, that's okay. But people are not allowed to donate to your server and get what they call play packs. So you can't buy play packs. Play packs are considered something that would include in-game money, game-changing items such as armor and equipment.
Which we did.
Or,
We did both of those.
we did both of those. Or hard-to-get items such as uh, diamonds or spawners.
We did those too. We've done all of this. Son of a bitch, did nobody read the fucking. I didn't, obviously.
The model that we set up was typical for a donation-based server. And in fact, not only were we grossly violating the new rules, the biggest servers that existed, like Hypixel and name escapes me, were also grossly violating the rules. The reason why they started to clamp down, or rather the reason they say, is because there were other servers where the ability to dig blocks or play packs. There were servers that had
That's
play
what this came
packs.
from then.
Yeah,
For people having to pay to remove blocks. That's where the fuck this came from then.
there were servers out there who had $500 play packs. I
So
believe the
what are
highest
those?
one I saw was a $1,500 play pack that would also grant you the ability to ban people from a server.
Wow. So what happens to these before we're kind of working our way to HB specifically here. But what happens to these people? They've already made these deals. Two people have already made a contract between one another. I give you $1,500. You give me the ability to use diamond picks, whatever. What the hell happens to these deals now?
Mojang gave server owners until August 1st to make remunerations to anyone who had received services that they were no longer allowed to provide.
They give them their money back or give them something in game, I guess.
They were not specific.
All right, so they just said handle it before August 1st because that's when the crackdown starts.
Yeah, really the problem was coming from these abusive servers because your average Minecraft player is not over the age of 18. And there were instances where, kids were taking parents' credit cards and buying these giant play packs, and the parents would complain to Mojang, and Mojang had to explain, well, wait a minute, yes, this is our game, but
Yeah, but
that is
Mojang has
not
nothing
ours.
to do with that. Yeah.
Exactly, and that's a kind of a hard position to be in.
No, it's not. That's an exceedingly easy position to be in. If you're on my playground and your kid buys some candy from another kid, that has nothing to do with me just because it happened on my playground. Also, I'd like my own playground, please.
Yes, and I agree with you, Reb. In fact, I think that the ship had sailed for them to implement this. Really, what it was is they relied on the Minecraft community um, to underwrite their server costs when they couldn't support it. And it was only once they started introducing a service that was them, Realms, that they started to reign in the multiplayer verse.
Well, yeah, and I think everyone gets this. It's because of the dollar is what the hell this is. which is I'm in a weird position. I completely understand why they did this, and there's a cat. I completely understand why they did this, at least intellectually, but I just don't. I don't know. It seems like, and let's transition into HB. We have what, 20 some odd players on our list. I think, 8 of which are active. Maybe. I mean, we're not taking coin out of Mojang's pocket here.
No, and Link, why don't you share with us some of the costs that it takes to keep the server running?
Since Link has literally not said a word, I don't think this entire thing
Yeah,
we've
that
been
just
running for
dawned on
God
me.
knows how long. I didn't actually start the timer until like 4 minutes ago. So
Well, I finished my chips and salsa, so I'm prepared to speak.
oh, wonderful.
Yeah.
Oh,
The
wait.
all right.
What kind of chips?
Because that's more
They're
important.
Oh, fuck yeah, it is.
they're just regular like tortilla. They're Donkey brand, authentic tortilla chips.
That makes me happy. Okay.
I love how
Continue,
they
sir.
have to say authentic on them.
Yeah, because inauthentic chips would be terrible,
Exactly.
and probably not have a name as awesome as Donkey Brand.
Yeah. So the main cost of the server that we get every month is by the people who actually provide the physical server Beast Node. That's where throughout the year most of the cost comes from. Secondary to that, we use Engine. That's where all the forums, all the just the forums really is what we use it for. That is paid for less regularly, but it's part of the cost. And the final one, which I haven't had yet to see the bill, is GoDaddy, who gives us our website, harvestblock.com. They give us that name instead of just engine.harvestblock, whatever.
Huh. Those chips are good?
Yeah, they're pretty good. They're
Okay, great.
kind of thin.
And
Sorry,
where does Link? Where does all of the money to pay for these come from?
The Harvest Block players.
Who are awesome for donating.
Right.
Absolutely. And I will, we're not a $1,500 play pack. It always crosses my mind that someone not on the Harvest Block could find these videos at some point. Who knows? So, we like the highest package we have, like the premium package is 15. Yeah, had. Yeah. Thank you. Sid, for not opening us up to legal liability. Was $15 was the most you could pay to keep the server running, and for that you got the use of some very limited commands and a spawner. You got up to 3 spawners, which ceased to matter for people who donated 10 times, 8 times, 12 times, whatever. And I think ranks and stuff like rank names were kind of mixed up all in that too, but I've forgotten how that worked.
Yeah, so in the ranking, I think the ranks had, rank significances like after you would donate 3 times, you got a new rank forever.
Yeah, and the great thing was that most of these things, because the donations were on a monthly basis, and most of it, if you did the $15 thing, if you didn't donate again, most of it did not go away. Like the homes, if you changed your name, you could change your name and do funky colors and stuff. None of that stuff went away. You didn't have to give the spawners back or whatever tools you got.
Yeah, so converting our server to be in compliance, how difficult was that, Link?
It wasn't that difficult. It was mostly making decisions on what would stay and what would go. We advertised being mostly vanilla, so the VIP were the only rank with a an effect that wasn't very vanilla, which was the back command. I didn't want to get rid of that. a lot of people on the server like that. That's where most of our VIPs came from. But making it available to everybody really kind of killed the vanilla feel. So that was the biggest problem, just deciding what would stay and what would go, and making different things available to everybody.
So has the and now we're obviously in compliance now. I don't. That's not a question. Because if we're not, I don't want to know. At least not in this forum. So we are in compliance now. Um, has all of this been settled as far as HB is concerned? Have we all now gotten our whatever donation stuff we're gonna get? Or I saw a new donation box. It did riff on like the new donation box, and if the whole thing is a settled issue now, or just anything you wanna get out there, general information wise.
It's very not settled. Um, as you've seen, I added some new cosmetic effects for getting the rank packages, and they're not exciting because they are purely cosmetic. Um, but in addition to that, like the big one, the armor stands, that's coming up in the next update by Mojang, so those are kind of useless. As well as the fact that I haven't received any donations since VIP got disappeared. So I have a plan in the works. It looks like I might just get rid of ranks entirely and set it so once a certain donation is reached each month, everybody will get something like a VIP effect.
Which you mentioned that on the forums. You basically just said what you just said on the forums. That once a certain donation level is reached, everyone gets stuff. But what kind of stuff are we talking about? Because people are concerned about the stuff. What kind of stuff are we talking about? And what can we expect out of that?
Well, I'm thinking
Ideas anyway, with the proviso that this isn't settled business.
what I'm thinking is, as of the first or whenever the goal resets itself, everybody will be survivalist. Once the goal is met, everybody will be VIP. That's just a really simple way to look at it. I may change or add different effects, but that's about what I have planned.
So if and playing devil's advocate here, the thing resets every month, obviously, correct?
Correct.
Or whatever you set it to reset. I'm sure you could mess with that. I don't know how, but I'm sure you could. Um, so let's say it's like week 3, and we finally hit the whatever donation bar it is, and everyone gets. Is it just that week, or does it run for another? Do the effects run for another month, or do we all have to get together and coordinate and pool our resources together and say, okay, everyone's donating on the 3rd?
That's a good question. That's why this has not been something implemented yet. Things like that. I have to play with it still. The donation module is actually new because of the EULA. So I have to look into my abilities with that. I'd like 30 days is, I think, I have to play with it still. I'm still learning about it.
It's a perfectly acceptable answer as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, pretty much. I don't know. Yeah, I'm hoping I can set it up so that everybody will have the 30 days once the goal is reached. That won't cause any problems, because even if people are donating on the 16th every month, that's still enough to keep the server running.
Yeah, like I said, yeah, we are a small server, and we do run on donations, and I'm not convinced that people just donate for the back command seem to be the big button everyone was pushing, at least in forum chat. I'm just not convinced that people were donating just for the back button. Yeah, I'm sure someone was. Who knows? But it seems like if we all play on HB and have fun and are entertained. I'm just unwilling to believe that the only reason you are donating is because of the back command. So I'm guessing what I'm saying is just trust, or at least my opinion. And I have almost no. I'm not like an architect, like I said. I'm not an owner, obviously. So I'm just saying there's a little trust that should be placed in us as HBers,
Well,
to keep our home going, essentially.
I can second that. Before I was an architect, I donated VIP, and I'm pretty sure I have 2 spawners, and I don't even know how many armor sets that I just never got around to collecting.
Yeah, actually, Link posted on on the forums that said, "Hey, before August, you have to get with me and you know get get your stuff basically because we're going to be in compliance thereafter." So I just sent Link a message. I'm like, "Yeah, whatever we had, whatever I'm due, whatever is left over." Because really, all I ever took was the spawners, and every other donation other than that, I just didn't. With Odin and Bubble, it was like, "Oh, well, just let us know when you want it." And that policy kind of carried over with Link, and I just never collected any of it, really. So I ended up with a whole big chest full of, shovels and picks and axes, and it was kind of funny, actually.
Yeah, I mean, I've saved every single. When I first started, I did make sure, like the armor sets. I made they were more diligent about making sure I got them, mostly because Bowden and Bubble pestered me a little bit more. So I got this chest that has 3 diamond hose in it. I have yet to break one of them.
Yeah, I have a whole, I think what I have like 9 or 10 sets of tools in the chest now. Just because I was, donating, almost the whole time we had ranks and stuff like that.
I'm actually a little disappointed to find out that the automatic donation that I set up that wasn't part of the VIP pack hasn't been going through. I'm looking into that right now, Link, by the way.
So is there and kind of, and like I said, and I'm kind of interested that now moving away from HB, I guess. Um, what other, because rules like this create weasels, as far as I can tell, not nice squids.
Wait a minute, 1.8 has weasels?
It might. Hell if I know. It seems like that would have come up in the last episode, though.
Chicken jockeys didn't.
Which,
Or
by the way,
did
chicken,
they?
chicken jockeys are not a 1.8 thing. They're already out, apparently.
What?
I think that got corrected.
Link, I demand you spawn a chicken jockey.
Yeah, let's do that. Fuck yeah. I'll see a chicken jockey. It'll try to kill us, won't it?
Yeah, it will.
Ah, fuck. Okay, that's how we'll go out. In like the next 5 minutes or so, we'll spawn one. That's how we'll go out. But these kinds of rules create weasels, and I was wondering if either of the two of you had heard of someone turning the letter of the rule against itself, and because that fascinates the hell out of me. Oh, did you tell him to kiss your ass? It's like, oh no, I told him to kiss my butt. Whatever. That's a terrible fucking example. But these rules create fucking weasels, and they do things that are blatantly against the intent of the rule, but are not covered by the letter. And have either of you heard of something like that going on?
So I have been doing some Google searches to see how other servers have been handling it. I have found some servers that they're
Weasley servers?
Yes, Weasley servers.
Okay,
that
great.
their answer, according to their website, they're just they were basically they thought that Mojang would crack, and they're like, this is the way we do it. We are not those yahoos who are charging $5,000 for play packs. We're going to keep going as is. I don't know what's going to happen to those. I know that the big servers like Hypixel, they have revamped their model. And I know that there are a number of servers that have changed from donation-based models to pay-to-play models. Basically, to access the server, you have to pay.
Yeah, I'm not sure HB fits very cleanly into either of those two, because we obviously have people that play that we love and we want around that just aren't able to donate on a regular basis. So switching us over to a pay to play would kind of not a solution for us as far as I can see. And again, we don't fit very cleanly into either of those two camps. Though we have forced ourselves into one of those two camps, it just doesn't seem like we fit very well.
We're special.
We are very special. Absolutely. Oh, by the way, this is the second half of Obi's. I try to remember to mention who suggests these topics, and I'd like to go ahead and plead again for more topics, because we have like 2 more or 3 more, I think. And we're eventually going to run out, so please suggest more topics to talk about and to hear about.
Otherwise, Reb and I have to come up with topics.
Oh yeah, and that'll be fucking awful. We'll talk about shit in space. And that's the chicken jockey, which means we're almost out of time. Too bad it's not killing someone. Yeah, it's just hanging out. That's the chicken jockey, though. Oh, it's trying to kill me. It can't get in the cart with me. Anyway, I'm Rebel X. I'd like to thank our co-host, guest host today, Link 1956. Yeah. I got killed using a feather. And I'd also like to thank Cent, whatever. Oh, Cent 49. Yep, there's the numbers. Cent 3. Y'all, thanks for listening.